Right.
So it's 11:02. I'm going to get started. Good morning, everyone. Welcome officially to our annual awards meeting. My name is Gary Cohen. For those of you that don't know me, I have the honor and privilege, at least for the next 60 minutes or so, as serving as the chairman of the nonprofit Washington Regional Alcohol Program. This is our 38th anniversary, and obviously a virtual meeting, which I hereby call to order. So we're going to be showing a slide presentation, so you don't have to look at my face during this whole presentation, but you can follow along there. Thanks, Robin or Tammy or whoever's controlling the slides. A special thank you to WRAPP's 2020 annual sponsors, including AAA Mid-Atlantic, the Breakthrough Beverage Group, the Coalition of Ignition Interlock Manufacturers, GMMB, McAndrew Company, Safe Night LLC, Chris Talavides, Toast Virginia, the Operational Alcohol Standards Training of Virginia, and Transurban, who even during this continued COVID pandemic have stepped up to support today's event and awardees. You each have been sent an agenda highlighting today's truncated online important offerings, the first of which is WRAPP's Kurt Erickson and today's welcome from the president.
So good morning, everyone. As Gary said, the next two agenda items specifically divide WRAPP's fiscal year, which we're commemorating today and which concluded just last month, into nearly evenly divided pre and post-COVID reports, with me covering the first half of FY 2020, which is October through mid-March, and then Gary covering mid-March through September as we commemorate a year that just ended. The first pre-COVID half of fiscal year 2020, even though it seems a lifetime ago, was indeed a rocking and rolling time for WRAPP, as evidenced by the nonprofit removing 2,243 potential drunk drivers from Greater Washington area roadways via just 2 WRAPP Sober Ride campaigns. This is the Halloween and holiday Sober Ride campaigns last fall and winter. This included posting a record level of ridership for Halloween, the most ever in Sober Ride's 27-year history for that holiday. In addition, WRAPP reached the 80,000 served level of total ridership for its Safe Ride program. And we also had the near tripling of annual sober ridership between 2019 and 2016, 2016 being the last year when Sober Ride was serviced by local taxi cab companies. In addition, we reached over 4,000 Washington metropolitan area high school students. This is just in the first 5.5 months of this last year, with WRAPP's innovative and multimedia education outreach program, Alcohol Awareness for Students, which Gary will tell you about in a moment, has now gone online. We conducted 4 separate in-school, interactive, and Geico resource youth safety events in the first half of FY 2020 in the District of Columbia, in Fairfax County, and in Prince William County, addressing topics ranging from underage drinking, teen driving, bullying, and date violence. We released WRAPP's 27th annual How Safe Our Roads report with partner of the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments, showing that while DUI fatalities and injuries were both down in Greater Washington in 2018, drunk driving crashes and arrests were each up. We helped to advance 2019 legislation in the District of Columbia, looking to strengthen that city's ignition interlock laws, and in Virginia, beating back 2020 legislation which sought to allow people to legally drive drunk on their own residential property. We hosted WRAPP's 22nd annual Law Enforcement Awards, which many of you attended in December, as well as served as project director of both Maryland's 16th annual Maryland Remember Ceremony and 18th annual Impaired Driving Enforcement Awards. And then lastly, and in December, WRAPP received national and regional accolades, including having WRAPP Sober Ride program featured in a 2-page spread in the International Association of Chiefs of Police Police Chief magazine, a monthly publication that's read by more than 120,000 persons. And WRAPP was named as the recipient of the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments' prestigious 2019 Regional Partnership Award in December, recognizing organizations or individuals who have worked with COG to improve the quality of life for area residents. So that's the pre-COVID time. I'm going to turn this back over to Gary for the post-COVID period from mid-March till the end of last month.
Thank you, Kurt. Well, I've been tasked with delivering what some may fear as being a limited highlights due due to COVID. The facts are that our organization accomplishments are plentiful and reflect a resilient nonprofit organization still focused on achievement, as well as one of finding new pathways to achieve its local life-saving mission. Since mid-March through last month, and largely done remotely, this period has witnessed WRAP adapting and moving its in-school alcohol education program, Alcohol Awareness for Students, online during the COVID-19 pandemic. So to further educate teenagers and young adults about the dangers and consequences of underage drinking and impaired driving via WRAP's YouTube channel with narration by WTOP News, Andrea Cambrone. We launched the nonprofit's long-awaited and newest website. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure you check it out, replacing the previous version, which has been in place since 2007, featuring an updated and easy to navigate one-stop shop for WRAP's latest resources, programs, and services to prevent drunk driving and underage drinking in Washington.
Yeah.
In WRAP's role as project director, researching young drivers' attitudes and behaviors, developing new COVID-era creative, and launching Virginia's 19th annual Checkpoint Strike Force campaign via a virtual kickoff event featuring Virginia Governor Ralph Northam. With support from our partner Geico, producing and disseminating WRAP's 2020 Corporate Guide to Safe Celebrating and Safe Driving, and 2020 School Resource Guide to Preventing Underage Drinking. We produced WRAP's Spring and Summer 2020 newsletter featuring 16 full-color pages of WRAP's latest news regarding the nonprofit programs and services. We released WRAP's annual Parent Education Initiative, 10 Tips for Safe Summer, including the development of unique infographic for social media as how best parents can prevent both teen drinking and impaired driving during the summer months, helping to shape the area's strategic highway safety plans via WRAP's steering committee with partners from District Department of Transportation, Maryland Highway Safety Office, and Virginia Department of Motor Vehicles, as well as participating in NHTSA's management reviews of both DC and Maryland Highway Safety Offices. And lastly, securing loan forgiveness, our PPP funds serving as a safety net should any of the charity's present revenue sources not otherwise materialize during the COVID-19 pandemic. Along the way, WRAP continues to serve as an effective steward of public and private dollars it is entrusted with, as the charity continues to spend just 3.3% of its total expenses on administration and fundraising. Inasmuch, I'm happy to report that WRAP has ended fiscal 2020 squarely in the black, despite everything. So for those of you that think that everybody just had the last 6 months off, you're wrong. They've actually been working very hard doing all of this. So without further ado, we're going to move on to the main event, as they say, and the 2020 WRAPPY Awards. Some of you have attended this before, and it usually takes a long time because we give a lot of accolades. People come up and accept their awards, and we take photos, and there's a lot of clapping and comments. We're not going to do a lot of that this year. So the meeting will go much faster, but that does not mean that the awards are not just as important. So we're going to jump right in, and the first awards that we're announcing is our Public Partnership Awards. There are 3 of them. Our first set of honors today are the Public Partnership Awards, and recipients of such represent WRAP's greatest single source of revenue and support, and therefore should greatly share in WRAP's efforts to prevent both drunk driving and underage drinking. WRAP's public partners are integral to WRAP's core programs like the organization's Alcohol Awareness for Students and Safe and Vital Employees programs, just to name 2. The support we receive from our public partners allows WRAP to implement innovative health education programs, not only throughout the Washington metropolitan area, but in some cases throughout the region as a whole. Please join me in congratulating the following 2020 WRAPPY Award winners for public partnership. First up is District of Columbia Department of Transportation. Next up is Maryland Highway Safety Office. And lastly, but not least, Virginia Highway Safety Office. Congratulations to our winners. By the way, Kurt will address this later, but everyone will receive their awards in the mail, I believe, right, Chris? Right?
Yeah, we'll either do that or we'll work with people to do their own online presentation, or if it's safe, to do it in person.
Okay.
Yep.
Next up is our corporate sponsorship awards. The 2020 WRAPPY Award winners for corporate sponsorships allow WRAP to continually grow and expand. It is through their dedication that we are able to offer programs like 10 Tips for a Safe Summer, Moments of Silence, Sober Ride, and more. Each of these winners has contributed $5,000 or more to WRAP in the fiscal year 2020, which has been instrumental to our fight against drunk driving and underage drinking. And just a personal note there, this was a particularly hard year for people to fork over $5,000. So an extra star goes on their forehead for contributing. Please join me in congratulating 2020 WRAP Award winners for corporate sponsorship. The Beer Institute, Brown-Forman, Constellation Brands, District of Columbia Association of Beverage and Alcohol Wholesalers, Geico. Oh, sorry. I skipped one. Foundation for Advancing Alcohol Responsibility, Geico, Giant Food, Glory Days Grill, Molson Coors, New Belgium Brewing, Queen of Virginia Skill and Entertainment, 395 Express Lanes. Who would ever think that the Express Lanes would make a contribution to us? I knew I was paying all that money for a good reason. Washington Area New Automobile Dealers Association. And those are our 10 winners for corporate sponsorship awards. We appreciate your support more than you know, and hope everybody will share in congratulating them. Next up is our Corporate Partnership Award. WRAP has so many key players from the private sector who help life-saving missions. Such extraordinary generosity and commitment make the annual effort of identifying one partner who has gone the proverbial extra mile extremely difficult. However, it makes it a little easier knowing the 2020 winner of the WRAPPY Award for Corporate Partnership has again dedicated itself to a year-round effort of preventing the threat to drunk driving, underage drinking presents to our friends, family, and coworkers. The combined effort of underwriting all 5 of WRAP's Sober Ride initiatives this year via the provision of a $25,000 in operating support so that WRAP can better able to win its fight against drunk driving and teen drinking, thereby making WRAP's largest private funder in 2020, truly demonstrates a private sector partner who has gone above and beyond. Therefore, I know you'll all join me in congratulating the 2020 WRAPPY Corporate Partnership Award winner, Anheuser-Busch companies and their local distributors. And I might just add a personal note there that, as you know, sadly, we had to cancel some of these Sober Ride programs this year. It just wasn't logistically possible, but no one withdrew their money. So we really do appreciate that. And it's one of the main reasons we can still operate in the black. Next up, I'm just going to move right through these folks, so pay attention. You might miss your award. Community Partnership Awards. In the next category, we have 8 awardees, each of whom have demonstrated an outstanding community partnership with WRAP, and each today being awarded with WRAP's 2020 Community Partnership Award. In alphabetical order, our first awardee in this category recognized a long and steadfast partner of WRAP's, as well as one is demonstrative of the power of collaboration in championing effective legislative deterrence to drunk driving in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area. AAA Mid-Atlantic. Congratulations. Next, and honoring their generous hosting of WRAP's board meetings throughout the year, as well as the provision of resources to WRAP to produce its annual corporate and youth guides, as well as their valued investment and participation in WRAP's youth safety events, is Geico. In addition to their provision of welcome gift cards, prizes to WRAP events throughout the year, its annual meeting and law enforcement awards, Our next community partnership awardee regularly opens their restaurant doors to numerous WRAP functions, ranging from board events to sober ride committee meetings to fundraisers, with the latter raising thousands of dollars to support the local fight against drunk driving. And that's Glory Days and Glory Days Grill. And, we did not have, by the way, side note, we did not have, this is the first year in I think 5 years, we didn't have the annual fundraiser in August, September that we usually have, but we'll be back next year and we'll continue to do that because that's always such a fun event. Our next awardee in the category addresses the issue of impaired driving from injury prevention perspective relative to the regularly conducting of the popular teen safe driver education program, Reality Check, which often involves WRAP and is designed to reduce teenage distracted driving, reckless driving.
Sorry to interrupt your vacation, comma.
Can you all mute your phones, please? Which often involves WRAP and is designed to reduce teenage distracted driving, reckless driving, and driving under the influence, while helping parents and guardians learn to be good mentors and driving coaches. To actively participating in WRAP's new youth safety events around the Beltway, they are a testimony to the axiom that indeed an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Our friends at Inova Trauma Center. Next up, next community partnership award is not only WRAP's sober ride provider, where they have helped nearly triple our annual ridership. They also a sober ride sponsor, where they also promote sober ride via their own platforms and channels, as well as conduct events to increase awareness of the proven and effective deterrent to drunk driving, including the recent outfitting of the region's new half lift, half police car sober ride vehicle, reminding persons that at the end of an evening, which involves drinking, they do have a choice to get them home. Our friends at Lyft. Next up, for 27 years, our next awardee in this category has annually taken on not only the production of the region's only yearly collection of alcohol-related traffic data in the form of WRAP's popular How Safe Are Our Roads report, but has done so unassumingly and at a greatly reduced loss leader rate. Via their annual efforts, WRAP is able to measure not just how the DC, Maryland, and Virginia is faring in fighting drunk driving, but how we as a region are working collaboratively to thwart one of the region's most frequently committed violent crimes, the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments. Our second to last community partnership award regularly uses their vast network of Greater Washington members to both leverage and mobilize the area's hospitality community to play a needed role in preventing drunk driving and underage drinking. Via their year-round sober ride sponsorship, they proactively deploy their social media touting this award-winning free safe ride service to prevent impaired driving so as to ensure that everyone in the Washington metropolitan area knows about WRAP's alternative to drunk driving. Our friends at RAMW, Restaurant Association of Metropolitan Washington. Congratulations. And our final awardee today for community partnership is a new honoree and one which played an integral role with WRAP this year as a nonprofit migrated its in-school alcohol education program, Alcohol Awareness for Students, to an online program due to COVID-19. Via such pivoting to an online platform, WRAP looked to provide an innovative educational program to stimulate discussion and raises awareness and consequences of underage drinking and impaired driving, something that was made that much more effective by this awardee's pro bono provision of professional and in-studio audio narration by their associate producer, Andrea Cambrone, our friends at WTOP News. Congratulations to all of the Community Partnership Award winners. Save your applause to the end.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that, Gary. Actually, I was thinking the WRAP staff worked very hardly on this PowerPoint, and it could have done what professional baseball does, which was just strip in some canned applause. that would have punctuated these, but go ahead.
Kurt, make a note to yourself the next time we have a national pandemic to
Exactly.
God forbid. Next up, we have our Law Enforcement Award. It is a tie this year for WRAP's 2020 Law Enforcement Award, and I wouldn't have it any other way, as this year's honor recognizes two area law enforcement leaders, of each of whom have been front and center in the region's efforts to prevent drunk driving, and each of whom has recently retired from their crime-fighting duties. One of this year's recipients is a former Fairfax County Police Chief, and more recently, Montgomery County Police Chief, whose 42 years in leadership tenure included leading the effort to pass Noah's Law, requiring the imposition of interlock devices for persons convicted of drunk driving in Maryland, prioritizing DUI enforcement with the belief that traffic safety is a public safety, including participation in the region's Checkpoint Strike Force campaign and the holiday task force deployments, playing a leading role in Montgomery County's youth-focused Keeping It Safe coalition, and of course, numerous times serving as valued WRAPP speaker during drawing attention to the region's continuing fight against drunk driving. This year's other law enforcement award recipient is the former Arlington County Police Chief, whose 3 decades of leadership tenure included implementing the county's community-oriented policing regarding both driving and underage drinking, as exemplified by the Arlington Arlington Restaurant Initiative and its effort to raise standards for restaurants that serve alcohol and increase safety for citizens to provide restaurant owners and their staff with resources to maximize their safety and viability, regularly deploying both traditional and anti-DUI efforts like sobriety checkpoints and saturation patrols, but so to non-traditional efforts like interactive drunk driving holiday events, championing safety, and in 2018, launching the region's newest sober ride vehicle. Please join me in congratulating and thanking two amazing men, Montgomery County Police Chief Tom Manger and former Arlington County Police Chief Jay Farr. Congratulations, gentlemen, on your retirement and on winning these awards and for everything that you do. We really appreciate your support over the years.
Congrats, Chiefs.
Thank you very much.
And Gary, I believe Chief Farr was going to say a couple things.
Go ahead.
So I'll be brief, but I could not resist when Kurt said I could get a couple minutes. I started with the City of Falls Church in 1980, and in 1981 I experienced my first encounter with a fatal DWI accident. A young Army private from Fort Myer who struck and killed 2 people going home on January of '81. A young couple over on Lee Highway. And it sort of really grabbed my attention as a young officer. And then in Memorial Day, which happens to be the same year you guys were formed, 1982, to give you an idea how prevalent this was, I got my first hat trick for DWI enforcement in a single night. I got 3 in one night, 1 out the door, 1 coming back, and another one on my final trip back from Fairfax. And it was easy to locate and find DWIs back then because the prevalence was so high. And what I've seen in the last 30 years is a tremendous effort by your agency, along with Mothers Against Drunk Driving and others, that really focused on how critical education and awareness is. And I think that helped me working with my team, the ARI team, and Jim Misteros and others, to really focus on, it's not about enforcement, and it's about education and it's about awareness. So I wanted to just thank all of you for all the work you do, and I'm appreciative of the recognition. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Very well. We very much appreciate your support. And Chief Manger, I'm still mad at you for leaving Fairfax and going to Montgomery all those years ago, but we'll forgive you because you've still been a champion of everything that we've done here at WRAPP. Okay, we're going to move ahead to our Youth Leadership Award, which is up next. WRAPP's Youth Leadership Award seeks to honor that person or entity that performed admirable work in the region's youth communities. And our awardee today is uniquely suited for said honor, citing their unwavering dedication to the prevention of substance abuse and misuse. Established in 1996 by a small group of concerned students in Prince William County, this coalition mission has always been focused on preventing substance abuse and misuse while focusing on building protective factors in the community. This year's Youth Leadership Award engages in many community initiatives, from the active participation in the Parents Who Host Lose the Most campaign to attending the Youth Alcohol and Drug Abuse Prevention Project annual conference. In addition, the group has been recognized by multiple entities, including the Community Anti-Drug Abuse Coalitions of America, the Office of National Drug Control Policies, HIDTA program, and by the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency for its efforts on prevention. For their steadfast commitment to both prevention and safe and sober youth, please join me in congratulating WRAPP's 2020 Youth Leadership Award winner to the Prevention Alliance of Greater Prince William. I believe we have Heather Martinson is here, and she wanted to say a few words.
I am, and thank you all so much. And that's really all I want to say is thank you. Tammy has been a wonderful coalition member and connection and resource for our coalition for years now. And so we couldn't do what we do without you all and your partnership. So we just, on behalf of all of our members and all of our youth that are engaged in prevention activities in our community, I just want to say thank you for continuing to do what you do and supporting us in what we do. And even better yet, we get to do it together with Tammy as a conduit. So thank you so much. We do really appreciate this and are honored by the recognition.
Thank you very much, Heather. You know, we wouldn't be anywhere if we weren't reaching our youth, and because they need to get the message every day, and you guys do a great job. So thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is our Media Partnership Award. Our next award category recognizes that the WRAPP partner who demonstrates their commitment to the fight against drunk driving by employing the media on the same. And this may be the first time that we've honored both unpaid and often underage media members. However, such may be the case when you're talking about Virginia Commonwealth University's journalism students, who, as part of the university's Richard T. Robertson School of Media and Culture, cover news across Virginia, distributing their stories, photos, and other content to more than 100 newspapers, television, and radio stations, and news websites. With a specific focus on covering Virginia General Assembly in Richmond, this awardee strategically worked with Give the State's weekly, twice weekly, and thrice weekly newspapers better access to the legislature, including covering issues sometimes missed or otherwise uncovered by the media, including drunk driving and underage drinking bills, making their way through the Commonwealth's Capitol and said legislation's impact on everyday Virginians. For their efforts to bring such issues to the forefront, please join me in congratulating WRAPP's 2020 Media Partnership Awardee, Virginia's Capitol News Service. Retired VCU Associate Professor Jeff South would like to say a few words.
Thank you so much, Gary. Journalists are impartial about most things, like politics, but there are issues like traffic safety that reporters are proud to advocate for. Over the years, Kurt Erickson has tipped us off as the student journalist at VCU Capitol News Service to dozens of stories important to public safety. And I posted a list of some of those stories in the chat box today. Kurt helped us with many of the most memorable CNS stories. In 2018, for example, CNS reporter Jessica Wetzler, acting on a tip from WRAPP, broke the news that the Virginia Senate had quietly passed a bill allowing Virginians to drive while intoxicated on their own property. The Associated Press distributed Jessica's story, and it was published by USA Today and more than 60 news outlets across the United States. When the resulting backlash prompted legislators to kill the legislation, the AP carried Jessica's follow-up story, which appeared in the Washington Post and other leading newspapers. Jessica is now a reporter for the Daily News Record in Harrisonburg. The VCU faculty members who've led CNS in recent years, Alex Bryan, Veronica Garabelli, and I, are honored to accept the WRAPP Media Partnership Award on behalf of young journalists like Jessica Wetzler and everyone associated with Capitol News Service. So thank you so much.
It's our pleasure. Thank you. Next up is our Public Service Award. WRAPP's Public Service Award is an honor annually presented to a person or persons championing life-saving policies aimed at deterring drunk driving and/or underage drinking. This year, you'd be hard-pressed to find an elected official more identifiable with WRAPP's life-saving mission than our next awardee. While you'll know him as a 6-term U.S. Congressman representing Virginia's 11th District, which includes Fairfax County, Prince William County, and the city of Fairfax, as well as, prior to his election to Congress, 14 years serving as Fairfax County Board of Supervisors, including 5 of those years as chairman. He is also WRAPP's champion in every sense of the word. For nearly a decade, he has annually kicked off WRAPP's single largest event of the year, the charity's Law Enforcement Awards and Holiday Campaign Launch, where he helps WRAPP honor local law enforcement with the annual bestowing of WRAPP's Law Enforcement Awards of Excellence for Impaired Driving Prevention. He goes further by making sure that these frontline members in the fight against drunk driving receive national attention by including the names of the award recipients in the proceedings and the debates in the U.S. Congress, otherwise known as the Congressional Record. He has spoken at WRAPP events, including the retirement event for former Sober Ride Committee George Bakitis, has been available to WRAPP on a number of legislative matters, and never passes up the opportunity to serve as WRAPP's cheerleader for both of the organization and persons comprising it. Please join me in congratulating WRAPP's 2020 Public Service Awardee, the Honorable Jerry Connolly. And I don't think he's on this call, but we will make sure he gets notice of this award.
He's not on, but he's going to be taping something for us for the Law Enforcement Awards, and he's going to do his a recognition then.
Okay, and our last award today gives me great honor because it's called the Chairman's Award. So I get to pick who I think is worthy. Our final award this afternoon is a special one, as is both a surprise as well as honors not only a true WRAPP champion, but this year a person whose roles with WRAPP cover the widest of spectrums. From serving as WRAPP chairman, immediate past chairman, vice chairman, secretary, and nominating committee chairman, she has run the table regarding WRAPP leadership posts. In between these official roles, her varied contributions to WRAPP continued and include her serving as WRAPP supporter, active donor to the charity silent auction, part of annual fundraiser, and stalwart WRAPP champion, often serving as WRAPP's emissary to various new audiences. In recognition of her span of official and unofficial, however always valued, contributions to WRAPP, please join me in congratulating WRAPP's 2020 Chairman's Award awardee, Liz Tobin. There she is.
Wow, guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. That is crazy. Gary, thank you. And thanks to WRAPP and Kurt and everybody. What makes WRAPP so great are all the people. And it's even more of a shame that we can't be in person today, because now I want to hug everyone even more than I already did. But thank you. It's an honor to be a part of this great organization and looking forward to continuing in the future. Thanks so much.
Anyone that doesn't know Liz personally, I'm the first one to tell you she is a hugger. So I'm giving you a big virtual hug right now, Liz, and we really appreciate everything you've done over the years. So now I would like to offer a round of applause to all of our winners. And it's really seems somewhat disingenuous that we're doing this virtually, but you all know why we're doing it. The fact that we're still doing it. And this does not make anything any less real or less appreciated, the fact that we can't be in person. But yeah, it would be nice to get together and do some high fives and some hugs. And congratulations again, Liz. So that concludes the awards, and now the business part of the meeting, the report of the nominating committee. I'd like to move that the next item on today's agenda, which is to introduce to you WRAPP's nominating committee and chairman, this year's awardee, Liz Tobin, for the presentation of this year's reported vote on the slate of voluntary leaders whom will be responsible for the organization's future goals, activities, and achievements. Go ahead, Liz.
Thank you again, Gary. As Gary said, I'm Liz Tobin and I'm serving as the nominating committee chairman. With this year's virtual annual meeting, our typical voting process also had to be COVID adapted. So to that end, a slate was emailed to all WRAP members on October 14th, 2020, with a requested due date of October 20th. This year's slate listed new members to be elected to the organization, directors to be elected for a one-year term, officers to be elected for a one-year term, and per the bylaws, the removal of members who no longer wish to remain active with the organization due to various reasons such as job changes or retirements. Each of WRAP's proposed new and/or continuing officers, directors, and members did agree to serve for the one-year term if elected. And I am pleased to report that all items on this year's slate were indeed approved. And the votes were both tabulated by WRAP staff and will also be maintained by WRAP staff. I would like to welcome the 6 newly elected WRAP directors listed there. Thank you all for agreeing to serve. And I would also like to welcome the 8 new members to the organization. Again, thank you for joining us. We're so happy to have you. Lastly, from a slate perspective, I would like to give congratulations to our WRAP board fiscal year 2021 officers. Our new chairman, Chris Henney, vice chairman, Pat Burke, secretary, Linda Watkins, returning treasurer, Jim Fell, and as of this moment, immediate past chairman, Gary Cohen. Thank you to all of our members, directors, and officers for your commitment to WRAP. Especially thank the officers for your forthcoming stewardship of the organization. And as I still have the floor, I just want to quickly express huge gratitude to Gary Cohen for all he has done, serving as chairman for 3 years, which might be a record. We might need to look into that. But Gary, you've been absolutely stellar. We appreciate all you've done for the organization and happy that you get to stay on as immediate past chairman. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Liz. Without objection, said votes are recognized as well as officially recorded by WRAP staff relative to maintained email votes. Congratulations to all those elected. Thank you, Liz, for your leadership on this matter. And as my last official role, I'd like to introduce you folks to your new chairman. I am a little bit sad to pass the baton, but very happy at the same time to do so to someone that is very qualified. I present you your new WRAP chairman, Arlington County Police Captain Christopher Henning.
Thank you, Gary, and big congratulations to Liz as well. I'd like to thank my fellow WRAP board members for their valued vote of confidence in me. I know I have some very, very big shoes to fill, and so trust me when I say I'll be relying on each and every one of you to build on the track record of success that Gary has ushered in during his tenure. As a means of thanking Gary for his invaluable leadership of WRAP over the last 3 years, we have a couple things for him. First, I don't know if you have it there to show Kurt or not, but the traditional chairman's gavel, which is engraved with his name and years of service as a chairman to WRAP.
Thank you very much.
There you go. I think you got it right there. Awesome. And then secondly, and on a more personal level, and I might need your help with this one, for you and your French wife as a gift card to Great Falls Iconic, and I'm going to try my best. French restaurant, Le Bourget chez Francois. Is that close enough?
La Berge chez Francois.
There you go. Thank you for a future thank you dinner. And so, Gary, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. I'm encouraged by everything you've done and in your leadership, and it's given me a great role model to lead in your as you move on. So I'm also encouraged by both WRAPP successes highlighted today and the fact that such are proof positive that coalitions like WRAPP, where the sum is greater than the whole and can indeed move mountains even during a pandemic. To that end, and building on the successes that all of you have committed to or contributed to, I give you my solemn commitment to remain steadfast in WRAPP's commitment to defeat both drunk driving and underage drinking. Quite frankly, our attention, energies, resources are needed as much now in this public health and public safety effort as they were first 38 years ago. Evidence of as much is contained in today's cited How Safe Are Our Roads report, which, as Kurt noted earlier, found that while drunk driving fatalities and injuries are each down in Greater Washington, the number of drunk driving crashes and DUI arrests are each up. While we're still annually arresting more than 14,000 persons for drunk driving in the Washington metropolitan area, no one is yet declaring victory on the fight against drunk driving. As has been the case for 38 years, WRAPP's future achievements will be reached by way of an extraordinary team effort. To that end, and to WRAPP's board, staff, partners, volunteers, and supporters comprising this all-star group, I look forward to working with all of you in winning the fight against drunk driving and underage drinking. Before closing this meeting, I would like to share some personal news. I'm very pleased to announce to WRAPP's board, members, staff, and guests we have here today that I've accepted an offer from Amazon to lead and develop their emergency services unit here in Arlington at H2Q, and will proudly be retiring from the Arlington County Police Department on November 6th. In closing, I extend my thanks to everybody. And that concludes this year's virtual annual meeting. So thank you to everybody.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Chris.
Thank you, Gary.
All right.
All right.
Seems anticlimactical, but
Just
thank you.
sign off. I know it's kind of weird.
Thank you.
We'll sign off, but congratulations to all.
All right.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
So I'm going to leave this on. If anybody has anything they want to talk, they can talk a little bit. I'm not kicking everybody out at this point. So if anybody who wants to stay on, they're welcome to stay on.
All right.
Thanks, Robin.
You're welcome.
Congrats, Chris.
Chris, when do you start the new gig?
There's no rest for the weary. I retire on the 6th, then I'll start there on the 9th. So I get the weekend off.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Big changes. Very much looking forward to it, though.
That's exciting.
Very much.
We should end this meeting how we started. Somebody's clearly got dogs that they can hold up, right? We had 2 dogs that were held up. Let's see 2 new dogs. Anybody? Chief Farr's about to go get one.
Yep.
Boy, come here. Come here.
Hey, Gary, where's yours? Come on, he can't be outside.
I got all my doors closed, so she
Oh,
can't-
okay. Well, mine barked in the middle. Luckily, I had my mute on.
All right, there we go.
I'm not
Okay,
gonna
this
pick
is-
her up. She's sleeping. I'm not gonna disturb her.
This is Chloe. She's a corgi, cardigan corgi. She's been very good. No barking. Good
Wow,
girl.
very sweet.
That's good.
Go away.
Well, congratulations
All right.
all.
Thanks, Kurt.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Stay
Bye,
safe.
everybody.
Healthy.
Oh, wait a minute. Gary has his. Oh,
This is
Oh,
Emma.
there you
Oh,
go.
hi. Oh, nice pup.
Very cute.
he's cute.
Nice, good looking dog, Gary.
Wait,
He's good.
wait. There you go. Yeah. All right. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Bye, all.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye.
I'm leaving on. Okay, hello for everybody I didn't say hello to earlier. I'm still on.
All right, Robin. See you later.
See ya.
I got 2 also, Kurt.
Oh, well, okay. Not bad. Okay, Bill, how are you doing?
2 long-haired chihuahuas.
Oh, that's cute. Okay, good. Oh, that's cute. Oh, you have a helper too, don't you? Yeah, that's fine. Any other helpers? Dogs? Cats? Bill Young, are you still on? Bill Young. Hey, you're
I'm
gonna
here.
Get, you're gonna get snow, aren't you?
This morning we have ice storm, and then yeah, we're getting major snow on Sunday.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I get the alerts for Denver, for Carolyn. I kind of keep track what she's up to. So anyway, all right, well, be safe, go skiing. Right?
Yeah, well, we needed the snow to put out forest fires. So
Yeah, the fires are bad. Have they started evacuating, what, near Fort Collins, didn't they?
Estes Park, yeah, and it's
Yeah.
a miserable mess.
I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, I hope everybody stays
Yeah,
safe. Okay, thank you. Thank you for joining in.
yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, what do we got here? Who else is on? I got Jim Fells. Jim Fells already gone, I think. Mike Green, you okay? You're fine. Bill Tower, how are you? No? Okay. You're all rough. I'm gonna close the meeting. John, are you still on? Okay, I'm gonna close the meeting for all then. Thank you.